So I assume you guys are here because you thought that I was going to read to you. Well, you're right, I am going to read to you. But first, I'm going to summarize all these patch notes so that way you can get on with your day and don't have to waste a lot of time. But if you want to stick around after that, or maybe just let the video play in the background, that would make YouTube think that people actually like me, so that'd be pretty cool too. But if not, ain't no big deal. See what I did there? But if you hit that subscribe button, you'll be able to hear me read bedtime stories every week, if that's what you're into. But anyway, let's get into the patch notes. All right, now I'm going to quickly summarize the patch notes this week. Then I'll go into detail for those who really care about that and can stick around and watch it. This is Trial of the Three Spirits, update 1.1.414. And they start off by basically saying, hey, last week we added a bunch of shit to the game. We hoped you like it. We told you we were going to add some new shit this week, and we did, and here's the notes. So they added 4 new quests, 3 of the quests being new armor sets, which is 1 for Radiant, 1 for Rhogar, 1 for Umbral. The Radiant is the Illuminator Aubrey set, the Rhogar is the General Ingstrom set, and the Umbral being the Herald of the Maw. Now they provided the riddles to help you find these sets like they do with all their other quests. Hopefully this isn't like the bucket quest where you can actually lock yourself out of the quest. And if you haven't done that yet and you don't want to lock yourself out, check out my other video on that. I'll put the link in the description. But just briefly reading these, I can kind of tell that the Illuminator set is somewhere in the Tower of Penance, the General Ingstrom set is somewhere in Lower Calrath, and the Herald of the Maw is somewhere in Revelation Depths. I will bring out videos on these as soon as I can, so don't worry if you don't feel like looking for them. All right, now moving on, the 4th quest they added was the Mirror of Distortion quest. This is basically a plastic surgeon. They added a plastic surgeon to the game. So if you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't like what you see, it's okay, you can change it. You know, kind of like the Kardashians. They added new Grievous attacks, 1 for single-handed weapons, 1 for two-handed weapons. They added a new storage box for all you hoarders out there. They added a twisted tree. Now, if you read the Rhogar riddle, it mentions a twisted tree, so I'm assuming it has something to do with that. Get yourself a twisted tea, find a twisted tree, and have fun with the quest. They added snowballs, just don't try to throw them in Castle Bramus because they might melt and do no damage. I mean, that's not actually what it says, but you get the point. They were originally going to add gamepad rebinding and new game plus modifiers, but they didn't have time to do it, so look forward to that early next year. And they wanted to note that all content that they're adding right now is going to stay in the game forever, besides the decorations. The Christmas decorations are temporary, but all these quests and items will stay in the game forever, so there's no rush on that. In addition to that, they did updates to multiplayer, they did updates to boss weapons, visuals, collisions as usual, audio improvements, performance improvements, improvements while in the Umbral realm, PVE balancing, and they have a section called Other that has various little changes. Now, if you don't care about the patch notes in detail, I basically gave you a summary of everything you need to know in this patch. So hop on a game, start playing, start having fun, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. But for everyone who likes to know every little detail about the patch, I'm about to read it to you. All right, first up we got multiplayer. Fixed an issue where certain key items and spells could drop repeatedly after engaging in multiplayer activities. This fix doesn't remove already existing duplicates, but it will prevent dropping new ones. Improved collision on one of the moth walls in Pilgrim's Perch. Fixed an issue where players could reach inaccessible areas by interacting with in-game chests in co-op sessions, which allowed them to reach higher areas. Fixed an issue where invaders could get stuck in Umbral assets when the host transitioned to Umbral in various areas of the game. Boss weapons. Fixed an issue with boss weapon abilities that could prevent the ability to spawn under certain conditions. Fixed an issue that prevented the Light Reaper daggers and sword boss weapon abilities to trigger if equipped in the wrong weapon slot. Fixed an issue that can prevent the Light Reaper daggers boss weapon abilities to consume stamina. Fixed an issue that prevented Judge Cleric's boss weapon ability to trigger if the weapons were equipped in the wrong slot. Fixed an issue where Tancred's Man-Catcher boss weapon abilities could not be unlocked under certain conditions even after fulfilling the requirements. Visuals. Fixed an issue where certain water puddles would no longer trigger any visual effects or sound effects in Pilgrim's Perch. Added a missing texture where players could see through the game world in front of the stone ruins in Revelation Depths. Fixed a streaming issue where Umbral assets could be loaded with a certain delay in Abbey of the Hallowed Sister. Now every everyone's favorite collisions. Added missing collision to a wall near an Umbral altar in Revelation Depths. Fixed an issue where the player character could clip through Umbral assets next to the vestige of Hooded and Thule. Fixed a collision issue that could potentially block players from accessing all areas in the flooded room in the Sunless Skein. Fixed a collision issue that could cause players to get stuck between walls near Tortured Prisoner. Fixed a collision issue that could cause enemies to get stuck near stairs in Pilgrim's Perch. Fixed a missing collision to Umbral assets near the elevator leading to Revelation Depth. Fixed a collision issue where players could get stuck between crystals behind the vestige of Bloody Pilgrim. Added missing collisions to Umbral assets behind an effigy in Revelation Depths. Fixed an issue where player characters could clip through Umbral assets next to the wooden ladder in Revelation's Depths. Fixed that same issue to a wooden footwalk in Revelation Depths. Fixed a collision issue where players could get stuck near the lever at the first gate of Vestige of the Hooded and Thule. Fixed a collision issue where players could leave the gameplay area by jumping over a fence at the terrace of Mance of the Hallowed Brother. Fixed a collision issue where the player character could clip through a stone pillar asset by a burning building in Lower Calrath. Fixed a collision issue where players could leave the gameplay area by jumping on an invisible wall near an Umbral platform in Lower Calrath. Added missing collisions to a tree in the cemetery next to the entrance to Lower Calrath. Fixed a collision issue where players could leave the gameplay area by jumping on a fence near Vestige of Sebastian. Fixed an issue where players could get stuck behind a gravestone at the cemetery next to the entrance to Lower Calrath. Fixed a collision issue where players could get stuck on the rooftop of a building near the tower in Lower Calrath. Fixed a collision issue where players could get stuck by jumping off a building near some impaled bodies in Lower Calrath. Fixed a collision issue to improve navigation on certain planks in Path of the Devotion Memorial. Fixed a collision issue where players could leave the gameplay area and get stuck near the broken bridge in Fife of the Chilled Curse. Fixed a collision issue where players can get stuck by jumping behind destroyed wooden scaffolding near Vestige of Svornil. Fixed a collision issue where players could leave the gameplay area by jumping on a rock near the Hushed Saint. Fixed a collision issue where the player character could clip through Umbral assets near the entrance of the Hushed Saint. Fixed a collision issue where the player could leave the gameplay area by jumping on Umbral assets near the vestige of Hannelore. All right, next we got audio. Improved combat audio for the Crimson Rector. Rector? Is it Reactor? Improved combat audio for the Crimson Rector Radiant clones. I think that's supposed to be Reactor. Improved combat audio on the Sundered Monarch. Improved the audio of the Sanctify spell. Fixed an issue where the audio of a spell of Aureus Judgment wouldn't play properly. Improved the audio of the Consecrate spell. Improved the audio of the Magma Surge spell. Fixed an issue where the Forsaken Grenade would repeatedly trigger the block sound when thrown at Umbral Tank. Improved the audio of the Infernal Decree spell. Performance. Improved the performance by optimizing the lighting in Mance of the Hallowed Brothers, and improved the performance by optimizing the Umbral levels in the Empyrean. Umbral. Fixed an issue where the Umbral Bridge and Archway could not be seen at certain distances due to its LOD configuration in Mance of the Hallowed Brother. Fixed an issue where Umbral assets could not be seen at certain distance due to LOD configuration in Redcop's Windmill. PVE Balancing. Fixed an issue where explosive snare mines could float mid-air upon certain circumstances. Fixed an issue where some spells wouldn't work correctly in the boss encounter with the Sacred Resonance of Tenacity. Fixed an issue where parchments were unaffected by Umbral healing reduction effects. Fixed the one-handed and two-handed abilities of the Hushed Saint's Halberd to make them more in line with other boss abilities. Finally, we have Other. Fixed an issue where the player character could get locked in a fallen animation loop by interacting with the Umbral platform in Mance of the Hallowed Brother. Fixed an issue where the camera controls wouldn't function correctly when entering the boss encounter with Judge Cleric under specific conditions. Fixed an issue where players could unlock the shortcut to a boss encounter with the Sundered Monarch by killing the Conflagrant Seer from far away. Fixed an issue where players could skip a part of the Revelation Depths by jumping down the cliff above the boss entrance. And as always, they end it with "In light we walk." And that's going to do it for this video. For everyone that's stuck around, love, peace, and chicken grease. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch y'all on the next one.